Warrior Radio, coming to you from the Tycho Warbird Air Show out in Titusville. It's like the 37th year, folks. You don't want to miss this. It's very affordable. It's family friendly. There's all kinds of fun and adventure, military reenactments. We're going to talk about some of the wide-ranging list, Glenn, in a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
What's the weather like out here?
Oh, man, it is beautiful. There's just a few clouds meandering around, but nothing like a cloud cover. It's going to be a wonderful day to watch an air show.
And if you want to come by the AVET Project booth in WMEL, we're set up. You'll see as you come down Taxiway C, all right, you'll see the classic cars, and you'll see some A6s. We're across from that with the AVET Project box truck behind us, WMEL booth. We're coming to you live from the Tycho Airbird War Show, and it's just amazing. The number of people that are coming out. There's food, fun, entertainment. Like I said, we'll get to some of that. I want to quickly, man just came by and I spoke with Colonel Whalen, who's the head of the Junior ROTC here in Titusville. These guys and gals, these young kids came out and helped AVET Project pull off a magnificent finish to a successful toy run last December. And we've involved them in a couple of other events. And there's a specific fundraiser going on, and it's being proclaimed as the Space Coast Military Appreciation Day. We are happy to have at the booth with us right now the chairman of the Titusville Chamber of Commerce, J.B. Kump. Hi, J.B.
Hi, good morning. It's great to be here this morning.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by. This was rather fortuitous. And folks, we're here for another hour, so if you have a special story or an event you want to publicize, pop in. We got a full agenda of stuff, but J.B. was walking by. I'd already spoken to Colonel Whalen. We actually gave his troops an award recently from ABATE because of the phenomenal work that they do.
Well, they're amazing. They've got a great group of dedicated people. This is the future of our U.S. military. We're organizing the first annual Space Coast Military Appreciation Day to not only recognize the contributions of those who've been there in the past for us, but those who are coming in the future. We're trying to pay it forward by taking any profits from that day and directing it towards the junior ROTC units participating in the event.
And I know that Chief Mitchell and Colonel Whalen have grown that program by leaps and bounds. There's obviously a need, and the kids definitely get involved in community outreach as well, which is super important. So this is the first annual. Tell us a little bit about this event. You're going to hold it in Titusville.
We're holding it in Titusville. Searstown Mall has dedicated the mall to this event for one day on Saturday, May 17th. And we're opening this free of charge to the general public. If you look around, Brevard County has 37% of its residents who have served, are serving, or are associated with the U.S. military. And you add to that the family members who've been watching their careers, supporting them and participating. You've got a real heritage of U.S. military involvement here on the Space Coast. So we want to recognize that.
Well, absolutely. I know from my days as manager of the Veteran Services team for the county, in round figures, we've got about 170,000 ex-military, if you will, the retirees and veterans who aren't retirees, and their family members. So that's a huge chunk of the population in Brevard County have a direct connection back to the military.
Indeed, and we've got a lot of organizations in the area that contribute to recognizing them on an infrequent basis. We wanted to kind of focus that on one special day, invite them to come out, get their veterans benefits reviewed, have a snack or a meal, look at some demonstrations by junior ROTC marching units, and just basically have a great time.
Well, yeah, especially invite you to do that, to meet these young men and women who are in the junior ROTC programs at Titusville High School, particularly on this event, Astronaut High, because I've been associated with many of them from many of the schools around, and the advisors, the military advisors, do an absolutely wonderful job. But they water your eyes, these young men and women. They're cream of America's crop.
Sometimes we get a little bit discouraged about the future of our nation when we look around and see some of the ways of some of the youth. But if you go around and associate with the ROTC participants, you're going to be encouraged and I think optimistic about our future.
Absolutely.
Now, folks, if you're out here at the air show right now, stop on over to the WMEL booth next to the AVET Project booth, because we're interviewing J.B. Kump, with the Military Appreciation Day, and you have a hat on right now, retired Air Force. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Oh, well, I spent 20 and a half years in the United States Air Force. I was a public affairs officer. My last assignment was with Space Systems Division in Los Angeles. So when I thought about leaving the Air Force, I wasn't through contributing and thought that Kennedy Space Center would be a great place, involved in the Space Shuttle program at the time, as many of your listeners I'm sure are. And it's been a great experience living here on the Space Coast for the last 25 years, contributing to the life. And I think that's one aspect of the U.S. military. If you scratch the surface of leadership of any community, you're going to find people with military experience involved in the leadership positions. It's something that teaches you leadership, ability to inspire and organize. And I think it's exciting to watch our youth in the high schools and colleges of our nation learn these things that are going to keep us a nation of importance in the world of the future.
Yeah, the freest, greatest nation ever to be formed on Earth. Free, that's an interesting word. How much does it cost to go to this event?
It's a free event. Now that you mention it, thank you very much.
Favorite word, free.
Now we do have opportunities for sponsors, and we're looking to some of the.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you very much. Well, we've got some goodness to give back to the sponsors. We already have several who are coming in at the gold and silver and platinum levels. It's $200 to sponsor at the silver level, and that gets you mention and advanced publicity. It also gives you a free booth at the event. We've really believed that the leadership of this region, the Space Coast, will come out, and the businesses and organizations support this event because it's a way to give back and to recognize the contributions that our U.S. military have made throughout the years to keep us free.
Oh, for sure. $50 commercial for-profit, $25 for a non-profit. These are pretty nominal fees, folks, to get some incredible exposure and become associated with not only the Titusville Chamber, but these wonderful young men and women who are going to be our future leaders of this country.
Yeah, and again, that's on May 17th of this year at the Searstown Mall in Titusville. And for those of you who may not come up to Titusville very much or haven't been here at all, that'll be an opportunity to come to Titusville. And Searstown Mall is right off of US 1.
It's right out, it's easy to get to, and it's going to be a great real reason to come up north and see what Titusville has to offer. We're going to have a great deal of things to offer on that day. We've got a veterans group coming in from the VA. They're going to be doing reviews and providing information about a new cemetery that's going to be coming to North Brevard, a veterans cemetery on the national level, not unlike that which you'll find in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, and that's going to be a wonderful cemetery. It's projected right now, it's going to be open to stages, but the first stage is projected to open like mid-2015. So coming very soon, and boy, is that needed around here because, you know, the nearest cemeteries are Jacksonville, Lake Worth, and the Florida National Cemetery over on the west side.
And those are filling up on a daily basis.
Yeah, exactly. Because of those great number of veterans that we have in Florida, it's the second largest number of veterans in America.
We're losing what they call the greatest generation on a daily basis, and it's something that we want to salute and call attention to.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see the VA get ahead of the power curve here, or try to stay ahead of the power curve, opening many new national cemeteries nationwide.
So JB, how can somebody find out more about the Military Appreciation Day occurring May 17th at the Searstown Mall in Titusville?
I'm glad you asked that question. You betcha. We do have a website. If you look at spacecoastmilitaryappreciation.com.
Let that soak in and grab your pen and paper. Say that again.
Space Coast Military Appreciation. No periods, no underlines, no spaces. Space Coast Military Appreciation.com.
The name says it all.
It does indeed. And we've got forms online that you can actually fill out and submit if you want to be a vendor or a sponsor. But it gives you all the information about what to expect there, who's participating, and how free it is.
Well, we're talking to retired Air Force J.B. Kump, who's now the chairman of the Titusville Chamber of Commerce, organizing the Military Appreciation Day on May 17th. That's coming up quick, folks, so you want to jump on board real quick. How can they get a hold of you directly? Do you have an email address?
I have an email, and I have a telephone number. The telephone number, if you've got your pencils ready, is, of course, area code 321-543-1608. The email address, jb.kump@gmail.com.
So that's straightforward, folks, and I want to encourage everybody to get involved because it's events like this that give folks that maybe don't know enough about the military, or folks that are retired and want to get re-engaged and volunteer. It's a great opportunity for everybody in the community.
It is, and we're all proud in the Space Coast and in Brevard County of our military members, our veterans, our retirees, and our ROTC members. And this was one way to show it. If nothing else, just come out, show your solidarity.
Exactly, and the operative word here is, how much does it cost?
Let's see, I think that's free.
Free.
We love that, we love that. JB, thanks for spending a few minutes with us today.
It's been a pleasure. I appreciate dropping by, and the profits, by the way, for this event will go to the junior ROTC that are participating in the event.
That's great, and thank you for your service, too.
God bless.
Awesome. Folks, this is just something else that you have to look forward to, but I want to stress that you've got to get involved early. Go to these websites, dial up the phone numbers, plug in the email addresses, and make contact with the folks that we bring these events to you, because we're already in, the first quarter of this year is almost gone, Glenn. We're halfway through March.
Wow.
Okay, we're halfway through March, and that leads me to another topic that we always have to stress here on American Warrior Radio, because it's such an important outreach of ours on American Warrior Radio, is the Space Coast Community Law School. Glenn, tell me the numbers that she's had recently at the recent seminars.
Well, the first seminar was how to think like a lawyer, and that was well attended, 82 people. And then recently, the most recent one was contract law with 60 people. And coming up, and this, by the way, this is all free for these legal seminars, free, and they'll be held at the county courthouse in Viera in the jury assembly room, and they start at 6 o'clock at night. And the next one coming up is trial process and advocacy.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, and coming down is the big one that always fills up, and that's one on 3 April for firearms. And they're going to talk about firearm permits and concealed carry permits and the law, protect yourself law, and so forth. And then they've got wills and trusts coming up, auto accidents from beginning to end, and First Amendment. And these are being taught by well-qualified people. We're talking judges and lawyers who are very experienced.
Specialists in their field that they're delivering the seminar on.
Yeah, and again, it's free. The next one coming up is 20 March at 6 o'clock in the evening at the Viera Courthouse, and they'll be on trial process and advocacy.
Who's putting that on? Who's the speaker that day?
The speaker for that will be Judge Michelle Vitt Baker. So again, here's a well-qualified legal expert, a judge. And you start as a lawyer, and somewhere along the way, if you want, you try and become a judge, and I think only the cream become judges. So
exactly. So you're getting the straight scoop from the folks that know what they're talking about, and that's what we want to stress about Space Coast Community Law School. The web address is simple: SCCLS, Sierra Charlie Lima Sierra .com, sccls.com. You need to pre-register, because Glenn just told you the numbers. The place fills up. Room only holds 100 people, so when she's talking about getting 82 people at a class that says how to think like a lawyer,
almost maxed out.
Exactly. You can imagine you need to be. They give you a free binder, pen, paper, outline of the class that you're attending. So register, sccls.com, or you can call Britta Hawkins, and she's with Telfer, Faraday, Anderson, and Hawkins, wonderful lawyers here in Titusville. And the program's supported by the Brevard Community Legal Aid, Florida Bar, Florida Design Group, of course, AM 1300 WMEL, and American Warrior Radio, and Cooper Chiropractic and others. But the bottom line is, you want to get a hold of Britta or Kristen at 321-269-6833, 321-269-6833. Pre-register at sccls.com. Again, it's free, and it's every Thursday from 6 to 8. Just incredible information you're not going to find elsewhere.
Yep, and in legal terms, it's pro bono. In our terms, that's free.
We like that. Another issue that we want to talk about, Glenn, that we always stress, and we've had Christy Bagalow, and we talked about a free wills clinic, an advanced directive that's coming up, and we have future plans for that. But just briefly, throw the number out for anybody in Brevard that's a veteran or associated with a veteran that needs some legal help and may qualify for the program.
Yeah, and this is an income-based program to give free legal help kind of across the board on many items that people would need. Veterans, not people, but veterans would need legal assistance with. And in Brevard, get ready to write this down, it's 1-866-469-7444. 1-866-469-7444. And this is a Veterans Advocacy project that gives free legal assistance in many areas of legal assistance need.
Check them out.
Check it out.
Community Legal Services Mid-Florida. It's on AVETproject.org. Check out our Facebook, even American Warrior Radio Facebook. If you're not a big Facebook fan, don't worry about it. Go to the homepage of AVETproject.org, lower left corner, click on the Facebook icon. It'll take you right there. And you can browse through it, get information, glean all kinds of good stuff, and look at photos. You just can't interact if you're not a Facebook member. But check it out for sure. Hey, there's a lot going on out here at the Tyco Warbird Air Show 2014 edition. How many years now?
37 years, and we're getting close now, so hurry up and get out here to the start of all the flying events.
I'm worried, Glenn. How much is parking? How much do they charge for parking?
Parking, unlike sporting events you may have been to or other events, parking is absolutely free.
Outstanding. You heard it there. And the cost to enter, believe me, you're going to have so much enjoyment and see so many fine folks and other people that appreciate not just aviation, but community, and there's classic cars. We'll go through the list. It's just amazing. And we've got a few minutes here before we go to the bottom of the hour, because I'm going to share with you folks. I'm going to go do some roving reporting and hopefully make it over to some of the pilots that are firing up their planes over on the ready line, which you can clearly see from in front of our booth here at WMEL. We're doing this live remote from the Tyco Warbird Air Show 2014 edition. We're right next to the AVET Project booth, and you can see the AVET Project box truck behind there. It's American Warrior Radio bringing you the good stuff all the time. Right now we've got a special guest with us that is a dignitary here. He's a VIP at the 2014 Tyco Warbird Air Show. And why would he be a VIP?
Well, because this gentleman is a Pearl Harbor survivor, and God bless you, sir, and thank you for your service to our great nation.
While Earl is taking a seat here, it's Earl Chaffee, everybody. You've heard him before. He's been on American Warrior Radio. How often do you get to walk up to somebody that is living history? And it looks like he's got some photographs with him today, too. Hi, Earl. How are you?
Pretty good, my friend. Pretty good.
Hold that mic up right next to your mouth, out parallel to the ground.
So they can hear you. I got it.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
Even closer and more direct, because there's a little bit of noise in the background.
Any closer and I'd swallow it.
Well, Earl, I'm so glad to have you out here today. How are you finding the air show? You having a good time?
Yeah, I met a lot of nice people, and one guy knew several members of the Pearl Harbor Survivors group that used to be here, and he brought me up to date on some of them.
Okay, we're having a little technical difficulty with Earl's microphone here for a second. We'll get it figured out.
No, Kim. Glenn's mic. Just hold on.
Okay, well, we're working on it.
Hang with us. This is what happens when you do live remotes. But we'll get it fixed here in a minute.
It's on.
All right, Earl, can you hear me now?
Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, that's much better. Vince, how are we reading them back in the control room? All better. Okay.
You mean all that talking I did before means nothing?
That was just exercise. That was just
warm up
warm-up.
of your vocal cords.
That was just warm-up. So, folks, we have Pearl Harbor survivor Earl Chaffee. What branch were you in while you were over there?
Navy.
U.S. Navy. Well, okay, so we got all branches represented out here today. Tell us one neat thing about today for you, Earl, other than the fact that, you know, you're coming up on a century in this great land of ours, and we love having you out to these events. People can come up to you. Where can they find you? You're over in their VIP section?
that's where I was supposed to be.
Well, we drug you over here to put you on the radio.
Yeah.
Anyway, so a lot of folks, have you met anybody over there? You got some Tuskegee Airmen you're hanging out with?
Oh, I met all kinds of nice people.
Well, we appreciate Bob Boswell, the Director of Operations, making this all happen because... Go ahead.
I think the nicest thing that happened is I found the place.
Well, that if you've never been out here before,
Well, I was here once before, but I flew in.
Oh, okay.
And
Well,
so I didn't have any problem, but trying to get here on the road,
Okay, well,
what
we
a
got...
nightmare.
yeah. Well, speaking of that, if anybody wants to fly in here, you're too late. They've closed the runway at noon.
Exactly, because the air show is going to be hopping in real quick. Hey, while we got another minute, Earl, tell us about these photographs you brought over.
A couple of gentlemen, ex-paratroopers, had a bunch of photos and asked me to pick out 10 of them that I liked. And I thought it was very nice. I don't have their names. I met so many people, it'd be impossible to remember all of them.
Well,
Very,
folks,
very nice people.
outstanding. Again, we're talking with Earl Chaffee, Pearl Harbor survivor. There's not a whole lot of these guys. This is living history, folks. I encourage you to come over right now to the AVET Project and WMEL booth and meet Earl Chaffee. He's also going to be in the VIP section for a little while longer. Yes, Earl?
I'll be here for a little while, but I'd like to make a statement if I can.
Please do.
Go for it.
We got 30 seconds.
You people that are listening, I am a veteran, and I got out of the service September the 2nd of 1945. And these people that have this booth take care of me like I just got out of Afghanistan. It doesn't matter how old a vet you are, they do all of this, and they do it without remuneration, no pay. This is done on a voluntary basis. And I'd like to say it's kind of great to know that they exist.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate that from what I consider one of our American heroes. And if you can get out and see Earl, I'm looking through these pictures here, and they look like actual photographs of the day on Pearl Harbor.
Well, folks,
They're actual photographs, yeah. I didn't take them.
Okay.
I couldn't afford a camera.
Okay. We're at the bottom of the segment, folks. Don't go anywhere on American Warrior Radio. Earl Chaffee, Pearl Harbor survivor, thank you for joining us. We'll be back on the other side of the break with some roving reports at the Tycho Warbird Air Show.
The pleasure was